what do I mean by the artwork is trippy enough? It can cause some crazy thoughts. For me personally, like let me tell you an experience I had. Like if you watch Alice in Wonderland, she falls down a rabbit hole, and then by the end, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but by the end it was all just a dream and it was in her head. But yet I'm Warren of In Your Head Productions. Like, just those sorts of experiences, I know it's coincidence and whatever, but like those sorts of experiences like cause like incredible feelings towards art, towards anything really creative. And it's stimulated because the idea bounces back at me and reverberates the entire time, which it can cause some really interesting sensations. I do apologize also if you can see in my eyes that I'm tired or I'm drained or lethargic. It's just that the company or the application can be extremely taxing in this format, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's quite draining because I have to continuously imagine what I'm seeing or visualize it in my mind. I have to visualize all the features and everything. Why it's so difficult? Well, I'm doing this so hopefully in the future other people don't have to do that. There will be amazing animations and graphics, and there will be a lot of things flying around the room and just a crazy, amazing interactive experience. But for now, this was like my trial. This was an obstacle I had to overcome in my life. How long have I been at this? Well, I've worked for In Your Head Productions for the better part of the last 15 years. I would say in total, in hours, I've been within 5 to 10 meters of an In Your Head Productions diagram for about 13 years, 20 hours a day. There was a 2-year gap where I gave myself a break and I had to get away from it for a while, but I never stopped working for the company or thinking about it. But that's a whole different story. But why I would do something like that? Well, eventually I saw it as a test. It was like the internship where they say, okay, you put in a blender that never stops. What do you do? And here I am 15 years later still talking about ideas. So how much is something like this going to cost to develop an application like this? Well, it depends if you're the user or if we are developing it. To develop it and to create it is going to cost quite a bit, I would imagine. At least several billion. But the potential for profit is somewhere in the trillions, somewhere around there. But how much are you going to charge people to use this service? Well, I personally believe, as Warren, that it should be free for everybody. The service should be free. But if it's free, that's not a very good business model. How is it going to make money? Oh, the company has other ways of making money, which I will reveal in further videos. It's just, I believe this should be free for every user out there who wants fun. Some don't believe that I've been at this for 15 years, which is okay. I mean, all you need to do is go look at my Instagram profile. You'll see some of the photos there of me with the artwork are nearly 10 years old. Even my Facebook profile says I've been working at In Your Head Productions since 2011. But that's not really the point here. The point is about In Your Head Productions and the application. Even the template that I've created here applies to other companies as well. Like sometimes I imagine the artwork as an Apple logo, sometimes I imagine it as a Google logo or a Meta logo or a Windows logo, and the way it minimizes, it opens, and you have a profile and you have a username and biometrics and all of that. So maybe I may have inadvertently helped develop operating systems. I don't even know at this point. But I've been at this for a very long time, and I have quite a bit of experience when trying to improve a logo. I mean, 13 years, 20 hours a day, that also doesn't sound believable. But it is true, this is a true story. It equates to around 32 and a half years of just working at a company. But doing what? Doing what? Well, there's everything from mopping and sweeping the floors to making beds. I have a bed in the studio. I moved into the studio, to getting coffee, to designing spreadsheets with massive numbers and figures and things. There are also books that I've written. I've got about 5 books worth of journals that are like pretty much my experience and the ideas I had while working here. There's also the training I did, which is recently. I went from being 130 pounds to 210 pounds in the space of 2 years. There was that training. So yes, I did make music as well, but like I say, it wasn't anything really good. It wasn't spectacular or life-changing. I mean, the last song I ever made before I went on the other branches of In Your Head Productions, the last song I made was something that I'm quite proud of. I mean, it was decent, but it wasn't like a smash hit or whatever, but it was decent, and it can qualify as being called a song. But anyway, I got off on a tangent there. My main point is that I've picked up a lot of experience just being around the artwork, and I have technically been at work. That's why I say it's 32 and a half years of 8-hour shifts. I'm sure some people were wondering, how did you get from 13 years to 32 and a half years? 13 years, 20 hours a day is about 32 and a half years, 8-hour shifts. I feel like I must apologize for the last couple of posts. I've been talking about myself a lot, and that's not really what this channel is about. It's not really self-promotion, but I feel like the things I was saying did have to do with In Your Head Productions. I've performed various duties for the company, be it ad hoc or otherwise. I mean, some parts of my days I'm just walking up and down and pacing and listening to music and thinking about ideas of what's next, what more can I add to this. And I've walked thousands and thousands of kilometers in front of it. It's actually insane. Well, it's like a pendulum, like when I'm walking, and it's almost like one of those old clocks. And maybe that's why I'm posting on TikTok, and it has something to do with that logo. I don't know. I feel like I must apologize for the last couple of posts. I've been talking about myself a lot, and that's not really what this channel is about. It's not really self-promotion, but I feel like the things I was saying did have to do with In Your Head Productions. I've performed various duties for the company, be it ad hoc or otherwise. I mean, some parts of my days I'm just walking up and down and pacing and listening to music and thinking about ideas of what's next, what more can I add to this. And I've walked thousands and thousands of kilometers in front of it. It's actually insane. Well, it's like a pendulum, like when I'm walking, and it's almost like one of those old clocks. And maybe that's why I'm posting on TikTok, and it has something to do with that logo. I don't know. But anyway, look at the spooky